Okay. My name is Jeff Wedgwood, and this is the Scientific Evidence for Evolution class, number 5. Today we're going to be talking about fossils, and we'll start talking about DNA a little bit. Archaeology is the study of human society in past times. Paleontology is the study of actual physical things like fossils. There are lots of examples in your handouts, so I'm not actually going to show much of them. Let me get this straight. Can everybody see that? Mm-hmm. This is the drawing that was made by, I believe, if I'm correct, one of the drawings that was made by William Smith, the father of geology. You remember from previous classes. He was the one who had the principle of superposition, that is, different layers of rock have different things in them. And he also added to that the principle of faunal succession. And what he meant by that was that there were certain things that appeared in certain layers. And it's hard to see, but down here are jawed fish, tetrapods, things with 4 legs, like, alligators or whatever. Then come mammals, and then birds. And humans are way, way, way at the top. Oops. I'm going to put these down while I talk.
You want a chair there?
Yeah. You want a chair? You want a chair?
And get the other one. Marlene, you were the one that was asking about this. Let me get a different picture first. What? There we go. This is an image of many different embryos. Fish, salamander, tortoise, chick, hog, calf, rabbit, and human. And as you can see, at the very beginning, it's really hard to tell what they are. Halfway down, you can begin to see some differences, but still, this, and this, and this, and this, those kind of look an awful lot alike. But the thing to point out is back here, these little lines that you see going up under the nose, what would be like the nose and the eye, those are the gill arches, and they occur in human embryology as well. The gill arches become your vocal cords and a number of other things. And one of the things about it as a physician is that they can close improperly and form cysts. So somebody can come in and see you with what's called a thyroglossal cyst, and it's actually an embryonic abnormality where it didn't close properly and now it's filling with fluid.
When do you call the embryo a fetus then? To me,
that's arbitrary.
Fetus.
That's
arbitrary. Is it arbitrary?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
think we tend to call it a fetus when it's viable.
Yeah.
So that's 24 weeks into a pregnancy or something beyond that. They're now having premature births with tiny babies that just give me the willies sometimes to think about. Anyway, the principle of faunal succession, we talked about it before. In your handout is the picture of the sand dollars that I mentioned that started out as a sea urchin. You remember this diagram where we had sea urchins down here, and then we got sort of a oval sea urchin, and then next we got something that was oval but didn't have spines and started to develop the appearance of a sand dollar, and then we got the flat sand dollars that we have today coming up in time. Now, I think Nico, maybe it was you that asked, we still have sea urchins, right?
Yeah.
And you have to remember, have any of you heard the phrase, the tree of life? Okay? Well, sometimes people try to look at evolution as, something that looks sort of like a tree, different things coming out like that. But it's not. It's a bush. There are lots and 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 lots of tiny little branches that never made it. And in fact, we do have a better fossil record now than we did before, but the chances of a fossil that's found here being an ancestor of something that's alive today is actually very low. It's just a statistical phenomenon where fossils only form in certain places. They form better in certain locations and in certain depths. And so you have to realize that whenever we talk about human evolution and we look at Lucy and we look at the Tunguska boy and so on, that was wrong. Anyway, those may have been the ancestors of a dead-end branch. We don't know. All we know is that if you follow, let's say this is humans. Humans are so self-centered.
Yeah.
If we follow humans back, well, that was a pretty short line, but we'll discover, we're going to discover cousins. Do you follow me, the thinking? But it's still very relevant for what we are like today, particularly in terms of the skeleton. But it's important to remember, if you're ever discussing this, to remember that the fossil record that we have is very, very limited because of the requirements for the mineralization of the bones and because of the fact that we haven't dug up all of Mongolia yet. There's a wonderful place in Mongolia which is an arid desert with a lot of wind, and the wind has blown the surface dirt away, and paleontologists have gone there and literally just walking across the field will pick up and find fossils. Which I think would be, you were talking about going on tours to learn that. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, I've read there's a book called Riding the Rooster, the Iron Rooster.
Riding the Iron Rooster.
Yeah. It's about a train that they use and travels through that area.
Again, Marlene was asking, this is a human embryo. They say developing fetus. Those are just arbitrary. But if you look, we have gill arches, and they become part of the nervous system, part of the arteries to the face, the hyoid bone, the little one that's way up high, and then the thyroglossal stuff. But because of this, because of the way it's formed, we also have a nerve that goes all the way down and around the aorta and back up. Why? That's not a very good design, if you're thinking of design. But it's the recurrent laryngeal nerve, and sometimes it can get injured down here in the chest, where it should have just gone straight out, but it didn't. It went out where one of the arches was, and one of the arches, the artery to that, became part of the aorta. So as that moved down, as the fetus develops, to come into the chest and take its proper position, the nerve just stretches to accommodate that, which I think is fascinating. But that's just me.